The scum of MMA, Joe Sun, born November 19, 1970, is a convicted felon and former actor, mixed martial artist, kickboxer, and professional wrestler. During his combat sports career, he competed in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, and K1 kickboxing. As an actor, Sun was most recognized for his role as Random Task in the 1997 film Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery. In 2008, Sun was arrested for a 1990 sexual assault after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. In 2011, he was convicted and sentenced to 7 years to life in California. While incarcerated, he was further convicted of killing his cellmate and sentenced to an additional 27 years for voluntary manslaughter. Joseph Sun was born in Gwangju, South Korea, and moved to the United States at a young age. Little is publicly documented about his upbringing, though he eventually pursued careers in combat sports, professional wrestling, and acting. Mixed martial arts career. Sun's MMA career was brief and unremarkable, ending with a record of 0-4. Before his official debut, he served as a cornerman for Kimo Leopoldo at UFC 3 in 1994. His proper debut came at UFC 4, where he was introduced as a Taekwondo third Dan black belt and the founder of a martial art he called Jo Sun Do. In his first fight, Sun faced Keith Hackney, a Kenpo karate fighter who was lighter but significantly taller. Sun managed an early takedown and attempted a front headlock, but Hackney countered by landing repeated strikes to Sun's groin, legal under the rules at the time. Hackney then applied a throat squeeze, forcing Sun to tap out. Following UFC, Sun competed in K1 kickboxing, where he faced Nobuaki Kakuta. Despite landing some initial strikes, Sun was knocked out by Kakuta via a high kick and punches. Sun also participated in Pride Fighting Championships, debuting at Pride the Best Volume 2 in 2002 against Yusuke Imamura. Known for his eccentric personality, Sun entered the ring wearing a leopard print thong, eye makeup, and a bowler hat. The fight ended quickly when Sun claimed an elbow injury after being taken down. Later that year, Sun fought Joe Moreira in Extreme Pancration 2. After a brief exchange, Moreira landed a strike that caused Sun to bleed. Sun refused to continue, resulting in a submission loss officially recorded as submission terror. Sun's final MMA bout was against Juke Nakajima in Pride. He again quit the fight after being thrown onto his head, citing injury. Professional wrestling. Sun briefly ventured into professional wrestling in Japan. He faced Shinya Hashimoto at All Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle 1 event and performed as a singer and dancer at Hustle's third event. Acting career. Sun's most prominent role was as the villain Random Task in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, 1997, a parody of James Bond's Odd Job. This marked the peak of his acting career and his final major role. Before this, he appeared in low-budget action films including Joshua Tree, 1993, Blood Fist 5, Human Target, 1994, and Shoot Fighter 2, 1996. Criminal convictions. Initial arrests. Sun's criminal record began in 2008 when he was arrested for felony vandalism after kicking in the door of a roommate's car. He was sentenced to probation and 60 days in jail, during which he was required to provide a DNA sample. Later that year, Sun was jailed again for failing to report to probation authorities. 1990 sexual assault. The DNA sample taken in 2008 linked Sun to a 1990 cold case. On Christmas Eve, 1990, Sun and accomplice Santiago Gaitan abducted a woman walking her dog. They brutally tortured her before releasing her. The victim had provided DNA evidence and sketches of her attackers, but the case remained unsolved due to limited technology at the time. In 2011, Sun was charged with conspiracy to commit murder and torture. He was convicted of torture and sentenced to 7 years to life in prison. Cellmate's murder. While serving his sentence, Sun killed his cellmate Michael Graham on October 10, 2011 at Wasco State Prison. Graham, who was serving a 2-year sentence for failing to register as a sex offender, was beaten to death. Sun was moved to solitary confinement following the incident. In 2013, Sun was charged with Graham's murder. In 2017, he was convicted of voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to an additional 27 years. Lee Brahim. Murray Lamrani, born 12 November 1977, is a former English mixed martial artist and convicted bank robber. His MMA career ended abruptly in 2005 after being stabbed multiple times outside a Mayfair nightclub. In June 2006, he was arrested in Rabat, Morocco, and later sentenced to 10 years in prison for masterminding the 53,169,760 Tiaros Securitas Depot robbery in Kent, England. This heist, which occurred on 20 February 2006, was the largest cash robbery during peacetime. Following a failed prison escape and appeal, his sentence was extended to 25 years in November 2010. Murray remains incarcerated in Taifelt, Morocco, where, despite imprisonment, he fathered a child in 2010. In a 2018 interview, Murray claimed he was training for a UFC comeback and hoped for a royal pardon from Morocco's King Mohammed VI. UFC President Dana White once described Murray as a scary son of a bitch, and I don't mean fighter-wise. Early life. Murray's mother, Barbara, was from Bermondsey, a London area known for its history of professional criminals. While on holiday in Gran Canaria, she met Brahim Lamrani, a Moroccan kitchen hand from Sidi Ifni. Their first child, Lee, was born in Plumstead, London, and was initially raised by his mother while Brahim lived abroad. Brahim later joined the family in 1984, marrying Barbara and having a second child, Arkaya. The family lived in Woolwich, where Murray attended Foxfield Primary School, meeting his future wife, Siobhan Rowlings. Growing up, Murray associated with the Buttmarsh Boys, a local gang. Despite his skinny frame, his wild fighting style earned him the nickname Alien. He had a tumultuous relationship with his father, who was described as violent and domineering. By his teenage years, Murray began retaliating against his father, culminating in Brahim moving out. At Eaglesfield Boys' School, Murray met Paul Allen, who later became his closest associate in crime. By his mid-teens, Murray was involved in drug dealing, associating with Nigerian dealers, and engaging in turf wars. Known for his violent temper, he frequently harassed local residents and fought rivals to maintain control of his territory. Convicted on multiple occasions for drug possession and assault, Murray served time in several young offenders' institutions. Upon his release, he focused on bodybuilding and began using steroids, earning significant wealth from drug dealing and flaunting his lifestyle with luxury cars. Despite frequent police attention, efforts to infiltrate his gang were unsuccessful. Murray married Rowlings in 2000, and they had a daughter, Lily Jane. However, their relationship ended in divorce in 2008, while Murray was imprisoned in Morocco. MMA career. Murray began his MMA journey on the 5th December 1999, winning his debut fight via knockout. Training at London Shoot Fighters in Peacock's gym, he quickly developed a reputation for his striking skills. Competing in smaller promotions, he amassed an 8-1 record before earning a UFC contract. He debuted in 2004, defeating Jorge Rivera by submission, but was barred from future fights due to visa issues stemming from criminal charges. Murray later signed with Cage Rage and faced future UFC champion Anderson Silva in 2004, losing via unanimous decision. His MMA career ended shortly after due to injuries sustained in a stabbing incident. Notable incidents. Murray was allegedly involved in a street fight with UFC champion Tito Ortiz after UFC 38 in 2002. According to witnesses, Murray knocked Ortiz out with a combination of punches and a kick. Ortiz denies this claim, though several prominent figures, including Matt Hughes, supported the account. In 2005, Murray was stabbed at a party, suffering life-threatening injuries, including a punctured lung. Surgeons resuscitated him multiple times during surgery, saving his life. Securitas Depot robbery. In 2006, Murray masterminded the Securitas Depot robbery, stealing over $53 million. He was arrested in Morocco, where authorities used special techniques due to his martial arts and firearms expertise. Convicted in 2010, his original 10-year sentence was extended to 25 years after a failed prison escape and appeal. Murray's attempted escape included smuggling saws into his cell and losing significant weight to fit through window bars. Despite his imprisonment, Murray maintained a lavish lifestyle, smuggling items into his cell and causing friction with other inmates. He remains incarcerated in Morocco, serving his extended sentence.